Everything you have learned to this minute, we are going to put into practice right now. Let's slay a GT.
Let's go.
So today we are going to understand why we have learned the steps we have so far. We are not going to delve into the GT fully, but we are going to take the first steps on our GT journey and understand why we have learned the placements, for example, or the way the cards talk to one another. All of those steps are leading a reader to the big spreads, of course. Why have I not started with an easy peasy spread for you? Because when the Kipper came out, and also Lenormand too, the instructions were always about a GT, a Grand Tableau, a Große Tafel. And that's where most readers started in the days gone by. They started with a GT, and that's what the cards, the 36 cards laid out, is for, to analyze a situation in the Querent's life. Let's have a look at placements now. We have learned that anything behind our back is inauspicious, anything in front of us is auspicious. Beneath us is what we have under our control, and above us is our thought process. The first step in reading a GT is understanding these principles in a large spread. So if we take a look at our spread that we have here, we have our main character 2, which would be the Querent in this case, and we have main character 1 here looking out in the opposite direction. The first thing we will do is look, and this is going to be the main part of this video today, is looking at our MC2, our Querent card. If you have a male Querent, then you'll first look at your MC1. But for now, we look at MC2. We make an analysis of her position in the spread. She's very low down. In fact, she's in the bottom row. All these cards on top of her are pressing down. They are heavy above her head. Imagine the weight of the world on your shoulders. That is the placement of the Querent in this spread. She's weighed down. She has a lot of thought process going on, and she is not in an easy position, we could say. She's also slap bang in the center of the spread. She's at the center and at the bottom. What information does it tell us in the center? We can see that half of the spread is inauspicious. That means half of the spread is going to be harder for her to deal with. The other half of the spread is auspicious. So these are items that will be easier for her to deal with. The cards immediately touching her are the items in her life that will be the most significant in the period we have set. So our short analysis to start with is she has a lot on her mind. She has nothing under her control. It's all, could be plans, for example, but it could also be riding along and letting things happen. She is not riding this GT at the top. She is weighed down by her life at the moment. The cards behind her, but she has equal parts inauspicious to auspicious. And these will be items in the inauspicious side that she will have to deal with. And that will take up a little bit more energy than usual. We would then look to the partner in the spread, especially if we're doing relationships, but also if we're doing a work or any other themed reading, we look to the other significant person in her life. That doesn't have to be her wedded husband. Think of the theme that you're in and apply the most, the closest person on her level, if you like, or the nearest person to her in that theme. In this spread, we have them both sitting back to back. Now we have learned that back to back is inauspicious. It is a relationship where two parties are looking in different directions. Here they have one card, only one card separating them, and that's the journey card. They may not be seeing eye to eye on the journey right now in the theme of the read. For example, if this were a work read, they may not be seeing eye to eye on the direction of the company, for example. We have our lovely house here too. Often shows a company. We have so we have her looking to her future, him looking away, and back to back in an inauspicious placement. Doesn't mean they're separated. If it is a love relationship, it just means that during the time of the spread that their relationship isn't a super duper let's hug, all have I don't know, hearts around us flying around. So now I'm going to switch the placements around so that you can see how they would be applied otherwise. So if I remove our MCs and then put them into a more, a different placement. We'll move our military man down here. And we'll move our lovely convene over here. So now we have a different looking spread and we'll analyse their positions. Here again we have the main character too. She's quite high up in her GT. She has 2 rows under her control. She does have a thought process above her. This is a very balanced position. She also only has 1 column of inauspicious cards. The rest are easy peasy lemon squeezy for her. And as I used the term before, she's riding the GT. This shows her riding her future. She is very much in control and she is putting things into place. This is a very active position in a GT. We also have her partner, MC1. He is looking on to her in an auspicious placement. This means a fortunate placement, a good placement to have. They are not close to each other in the GT. That shows that there is a distance within the GT, meaning that he is not directly involved in her life at the moment 100%. He may have his own storyline, he may have his own things on his plate, but it's a very positive placement because they are in the auspicious, able to see eye to eye position. The difference between him and her is he is a row lower down. He has less under his control in the theme of her read. Remember, this is her read. So if he has more control over her, if he was higher up, then that may not be a positive position for her because she has somebody who's in more control of her life than she is. So he is beneath her, only 1 line. They are auspiciously placed, and her storyline runs, whereas his runs beneath. So they do have, especially if we look at the cards that tell us directions, we have a long way running from his storyline, up into hers. So we do have a card that is pulling their 2 storylines together. So he is active in this GT. He is, again, auspiciously active. So he is somebody who will support her in this situation. Could be, again, love, relationships, work. Some people do health, etc., any theme. But he, we see, is supporting her and does form a part of her GT. We'll try one more placement just to finish off. Move them around. In fact, I won't even look this time. I'll see where we place them, just for the hell of it, eh? We'll move that up there and see who's going to fall at the bottom. It's our MC2. Now we know that he's falling at the top. Okay, remember we're talking about the MC2 as this is her spread. We see her then looking out of her own spread. This is a very inauspicious placement. In fact, in the last row would be, in the last column, sorry, would be the worst position for an MC because they have a whole heap of inauspicious items to deal with. I'll leave her there for a moment. She's exiting her own spread. Please do not relay a spread if the MC2 or MC1 falls in a column at the end. If they are exiting their spread, it is a valid spread. You will be losing an inauspicious read and all the items that they could deal with to make their life better by basically chucking this read in the bin. We don't want to do that. We want to read what we have been given. So I would advise anybody never to throw a GT in the bin just because somebody sat at the end. It is a very, very important read for your querent, and there's very important information contained in how they can get over the hurdles in their life. So, sorry, that was just an aside. So we have her exiting her own spread. She has nothing under control. It's all over her head. Everything's behind her back. Her partner's looking in the opposite direction. He's almost exiting the spread too. This is a very negative position to be in. If you see a spread where both partners are as far wide as they could possibly be, we can actually be seeing a relationship that is already over. In whatever theme, I say, we're in, whether it be at work, it could be somebody who's leaving work, a colleague who's leaving her life, so to speak. So, as I say, don't throw it in the bin. Look at what advice and what is going to happen, because this is showing what is going to happen in the timescale you set. Look at it carefully and pull out what is going to happen and turn that into what the querent can do to get over it. You can actually lay an extra spread and say, what can my querent do, or what are the best steps for my querent to get over this inauspicious period of time. I'll do one more because I love placements and playing. I'm going to put them in the middle here, almost in the middle. Again, I won't look who is going to land where, so it's nice and relaxed when I do it, perhaps, or even spontaneous. I like spontaneous. The ladies on top, look, I didn't ask any questions or anything. I'm purely doing placements here for you. So we have the lady on top with the man beneath her. Obviously, they look in different directions. Would you call this auspicious or inauspicious? They are very much together. They are very much in the same part of the spread. He is very much supporting her. She is in control of the situation in the relationship or in the work situation. He, however, is very supportive of her. She has this under control, and he thinks fondly of her as well because he's so this is a good placement for people, even though they are about to go in different directions. It doesn't mean that it's an inauspicious read. It is a, we are doing this I might not be able to help you 100% because I've got my stuff to deal with, but I will still be there for you when you need it. And she's saying, I have my own way to go. I value your support. I listen to what you say, and I will take that on my journey. So, this is a very good position for the two of them to positively go their own directions within the theme. So he does his work, she does her work, or in love even. He has his own stuff to do, she has her own stuff to do, but they are a unit, and it is enough to take them forward together, even though they have their own things to do, which we all do in life. So that was the placements in the GT, and that's what we have been learning so far. We will put those into smaller spreads next, so that you understand how and when, what happens, where they fall, and what that means. In the meantime, practice your GTs. Why not post them in my groups, the World Divination Association, the World Kipper Association on Facebook? Stalk us on social media. We are absolutely everywhere. And if you want to find me at the Card Geek and hashtag the Card Geek or hashtag TCG Kipper, I check those regularly so I can do reposts and comments on your spread.